Days Stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information from your morning commute to your afternoon drive. We're on your side weekdays, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is committed to your safety with 6 hours of continuous team coverage.
This is a relentless storm, Dave.
We're fortunate we all made it out alive.
And our network of skycams across the state alerting you to danger, bringing you live footage of tornadoes as they touch down in Wathau County.
Look at this, Chase. Guys, look at that.
This is ground zero almost. I mean, this is really hard to stomach, like I said.
We take our commitment to being on your side seriously, and together, we're Mississippi Strong.
WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding. Weekdays Stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is keeping you up to date with the latest information from your morning commute to your afternoon drive. We're on your side weekdays, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding.
All right. Woo! This storm is a doozy.
Yeah,
Isn't it? Isn't it?
It is.
As we say in the industry.
it is.
I'm telling you. So, what's going on out there now with the latest? Because I was on TV. You saw me scurrying around during the 6. The storm that was bad over Brookhaven has shifted westward now into Franklin County, but the storm over the metro is intense right now,
Yes.
and it's still going strong. So I'm going to let you talk for a little bit while I kind of catch my breath.
Yeah, so here's what the current watches and warnings. Well, we've actually only got warnings for the time being. We've got 2 flash flood warnings. One is just outside Brookhaven. That's until 7:45 this evening. And then we've just got a new one issued for parts of Madison and Rankin counties. That's until 8:45 this evening, on top of the severe thunderstorm warning that goes until, let's see, until 7:15. They've been issuing all these warnings. It's hard to keep up sometimes with the timing, but it's for parts of Hinds County, Madison County, and Rankin County. That's also the same for this flash flood warning, but that's until 8:45 because these storms are a bit of slow movers. They've kind of just are taking their sweet time and dropping quite a bit of rain, and since they're not really moving out, well, that's going to lead to some flash flooding concerns. So here's what that storm looks like a little bit closer. I just zoomed in a little bit to get some of those communities highlighted for you. So if you're in Madison, near Tougaloo, along the Spillway, Castlewoods. It is looking like it'll be starting to head towards Dogwood here momentarily. Sand Hill near Fannin. If you're traveling along Highway 25, you might want to slow down pretty significantly. These are some pretty hefty thunderstorms. Same if you're traveling along I-55, you may come across these thunderstorms as well. Now, they've been producing some gusty winds up to about 60 miles an hour. And they've also produced some quite large hail, up to about a ping pong in size. So this has a history of producing some decently sized hail on top of the the very hefty thunderstorms, if you will. But yeah, they've been packing a punch for us this evening. And then further off to the south, we've still got that flash flood warning for parts of Brookhaven. It looks like that system has shifted, or I should say that cluster of storms has shifted a little bit further off to the south. So they'll probably just keep this going just a little bit longer. But other than that, things are still pretty active in parts of our area.
Just curious, can you take a look at 6-hourly rainfall? And not just, we'll look at Brookhaven, but we'll also look at Metro Jackson. Yeah. And I'm just curious to see, it should be automatically set to 6 hours. Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just curious. So that's a little misleading. I have a funny feeling that's either not updating yet or it just hasn't, well, maybe the hail has caused a problem with it, because hail will always cause a problem with picking up rainfall. Mm-hmm. But that suggests about 1 to 2 inches of rain. Let's see what we get further south in the Brookhaven situation. Looks like it's a little bit more, maybe.
A little bit.
Yeah. That's that 4-inch amount right over downtown Brookhaven. So that might be a little bit of an issue.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
2.5. Almost 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely produced quite a bit of rain. So I do think there's probably a little bit more for parts of around the metro.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not being picked up. So I'll take it back to regular. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we'll probably continue with this just a little while longer. There also may be a few more thunderstorms even after sunset. That could be also some heavy rain producers, so something to keep in mind. But as we get into tomorrow, there still may be some isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. But after that, we've got a cool front that will bring us some cooler conditions, not only in the afternoons, but also in the mornings. And it's also going to give us some fresher air, if you will, because it's not going to be as humid as we've been dealing with the past, I would say, a week or so. It's been pretty stifling outside. So temperature's still going to be in the mid to upper 80s tomorrow. Then we'll see that cool down mid to late week, mid to low to mid 80s, that is. And you'll definitely notice that, I think. I mean, it'll be nice in the afternoons, but I think you'll definitely notice it in the early morning hours Thursday and going into your Friday. But this is going to be very brief because we've got our next chance for rain heading into the weekend. Going to be isolated to scatter. Models are still iffy on coverage, but I do think we'll still see some kind of rain over the course of this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's going to be some changes for sure by this weekend. But later this week, the weather looks really, really nice. Wednesday and Thursday, things will be improving. So we'll go back to the local radar right now to show you what's going on in the area. And again, here's the story. If you're stuck in these storms, they're just not moving. They're just slow-moving storms right now. Now, what I think is going to happen here in the next hour with the sun starting to set, the energy will start getting taken off. It'll be taken out of the equation. There's also what you can't see, but you might be able to make it out, is we really have a boundary that's pushing southward across the area right now. And that boundary, as it gets further south, it'll get south of Interstate 20. It's more pronounced in the eastern part of the state, but once it starts getting further south, I think a lot of these storms will start waning. But I will tell you this, be on the lookout. I'm seeing a lot of outflow boundaries coming from the Jackson one. And so it's kind of interesting what's happening out there. So these storms are stuck. They're just not moving. They're tapping into all the energy that's in the atmosphere. There's quite a bit of moisture. The temperatures today were very hot. We had mid to upper 90s outside of the storm. So we had extra heat kind of added to the mix. Then we've got these little blobs of moisture. And so we see this quite often where we get the contrast between the dry and the moist air. And it makes these huge storms that just blossom up tall into the sky and they get hail. And that's how you get the hail. You have to go tall into the sky in the first place. So we just want y'all to be safe, stay safe, kind of stay put. If you're caught underneath these storms, if you are venturing out, go to our free First Alert weather app, check where the storms are. But, you know, we were covering it this afternoon. It started really around your news at 4 and 4:30, and then continued to expand as we went into the evening. So we've been covering it for a couple hours now, but the storms will continue to be rough out there. We'll go closer in on the metro. Let's go closer in real quick, where we do have a flash flood warning in effect and a severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, and so I'm a little concerned that as these outflow boundaries, the little lines, you could see them on the edge of your screen, they are basically the wake created by these storms. If those wakes can trigger more storms, we could have a few more of these intense storms forming. But it looks like the worst of what we were tracking is starting to come down a little bit in intensity. That's not the case, though, if you're near Lake Caroline in Annandale. And we'll go zoom in there. If you don't mind, just go out to the west of Madison on 463. Annandale, right there in the middle of it, Reunion Parkway and Livingston Road and Township of Livingston. That's where we're seeing the worst of this weather right now, and it stretches back over to Gluckstadt. And like I said, this is going to go for another 20, 30 minutes or so. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15 this evening. So flash flooding, we've got power outages, and that's kind of why we're taking a little extra time here on this report, is because we do know we have a lot of folks without power right now, and this is the only way they're going to get the information. We're on your streaming apps right now. We're also on Facebook to give you the very latest information on these very slow moving storms, and they literally have to rain themselves out, and they've got plenty of moisture to work with. So that's a story there. All right, folks, anything else you want to add?
I think that's covering
all right,
it.
so maybe a few more storms tomorrow, and probably not as bad as today.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday look really quiet. Hit the hail scan one
Yeah.
more time. Only reason why I'm just seeing that stuff near 463. I'm just look at that. Mm-hmm.
Starting to get ping pong.
So let's zoom in a little bit more there. That's west of Annandale, and that's Robinson Springs Road. And I was just curious when I saw that purple. Purple usually responds on the radar as looks like hail. Yeah. And so that's what it's doing there. And you could still see around Annandale Drive, we're getting some hail too. So if we go zoom back out, we'll show you where all the hail's taking place right now. And there's a bunch of it across the area. Even in the purple, that's ping pong size hail, but the highest amount or the most, the largest hailstones were definitely close to the res. Yeah, near Tugela, I'm seeing that too. There seems like a lot of hail out there.
Yeah.
Northeast Jackson, you're under the severe thunderstorm warning. You're also under a flash flood warning. It goes all the way southward to the zoo, heads eastward towards the Pearl River. And then in Rankin County, northwest Rankin, you're under this severe thunderstorm warning and flash flood warning as well. Please, a reminder, when you see water rising, we just had a fatality in Petal last week. When you see water rising and you just don't know the depth, don't guess it. Stop where you are and go back to where you came from, or go seek higher ground. But do not try to cross the water. It's not worth it. One, if you're lucky, it'll just flood your engine. Two, if you're not lucky, it's going to carry you away with your car. So can't stress that enough. We want you to be very careful in this situation. We have slow-moving storms out there. We'll keep you updated, of course, on the free First Alert weather app. We'll also be here to give you additional inputs and information as you need it. And then, of course, I'll be back on WLBT's 10 p.m. news to give you another update on what's going on. But until then, for meteorologist Ashley Civic, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Roberts. First Alert Weather.